This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings. Online at madeformorerealty.com.
So we are back with Frank Klesitz with Vyral Marketing. And if you're listening on the radio, if you're listening on a podcast, obviously you can't see his background, but he's got this, I don't even know what you'd call it, a picture, a portrait?
Yeah, it's of John Wayne.
It looks like John Wayne. Are you a John Wayne fan?
I am.
I did not know that. Me too.
My wife loves him.
Really?
Oh yeah. I think she just really just likes that masculine energy of someone in charge.
Who was the John Wayne fan first, you or your wife?
My wife.
Really?
I was always a fan of the war movies. I liked John Wayne in the war movies growing up. I watched them
Like
with my
Iwo
dad.
Jima and stuff?
Yeah. I would always enjoy them.
In Harm's Way. I like the Westerns. So, but that's funny. There's not too many people who, are still.
So if Johnny didn't tell you, usually when he has a guest on the show, as a gift, he'll give them a mug with a gold handle because that's something John Wayne used to do on his movie sets. Johnny, you want to share that story?
Yeah. So at the end of recording or filming a movie, John Wayne would give out gold-handled mugs to commemorate that film. And so, people who'd been with him in multiple movies had all these different gold-handled mugs from John Wayne. And so I tried emulating that, but my mugs were not coming out as cool. So
Let me tell you that picture really quick. We were at a cigar bar, my wife and I, and it was on the wall.
what?
Yeah.
The mug?
In San Diego.
No,
Picture.
the picture.
Oh, the picture.
Yeah. And we went to the owner and said, "I'd like to buy it." He's like, "How much?" I'm not sure the exact number, but I was like, $100. He said, "Sold."
Are you
So
serious?
took it off the wall. I bought it from the cigar bar. And then
That's
it's
awesome.
He's like, I got 30 copies in the back that I printed on my computer.
As you're walking out, he's hanging another one.
You just want one? How many do you need?
it stunk up the car pretty bad because it's been sitting in the cigar bar for Lord knows how long.
Oh, wow.
So I let it sit in my garage for like a year. And then it was to air out, and then because it's a painting on a canvas. The canvas picked up the smoke, and now it's in the house.
That's so cool. Where were you? What cigar
San Diego.
lounge?
It was a nice little cigar lounge in Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Forget the name. Mhm.
Never been. But anyways, I thought that's who that was. My wife, Valerie, when we first started dating, she was like, "Hey, what movie do you want to watch?" And I was like, "Hey, can we watch like a John Wayne movie?" And she's like, "Who's John Wayne?" And I was like,
Oh no.
This is a make or break moment, Val. This is a make or break. And now she can be across the room. She just hears a line or two from a movie, and she knows I'm watching. She recognizes his voice, and she knows I'm watching a John Wayne movie. But yeah, I grew up watching his stuff. But as far as buyers or sellers, what are you seeing? Because you interact with a lot of different agents all over the country. How many clients would you say Vyral has?
I think more in terms of accounts, maybe a little over 300 people that run the marketing for.
Okay, 300 accounts. And so out of those 300 accounts, what are you seeing on like a national level? Are you seeing things pick up? Are you seeing buyers still nervous to come to the market?
Recently, yes. Mortgage rates are at, I believe, pretty close to 52-week lows. So if you check, I'm not an expert in this area, but from what I like to check is the Fannie and Freddie rates. If you go to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that pretty much control the mortgage market because the lenders resell it to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for conventional loans. Go look at their website and see what mortgage rates are, and they are at pretty near 52-week lows.
Yep.
And in psychology, there's this they hit this high level, now they're back down, and it's getting people, talking about buying real estate, building some confidence. And the general trend, if things go traditionally, is as the Fed meets and they might, lower the interbank borrowing rate, and it doesn't push up the 10-year treasury too much, you'll probably see more interest rates going down. And that's the big talk of the economy, is which way will that go?
Mm-hmm.
But it is, without question, mortgage rates as of time we're recording this are at all-time lows for the year. And that's unlocking a lot more conversations about moving.
Yep. And not only like sometimes we talk about buyers, you think about somebody just purchasing a home, but there's a lot of people that want to purchase a home and they're already living in a house. They already own their house, but they've been, trapped. The economics didn't make sense, and they've just been kicking the can down the curb or they've just been kicking the can, waiting for a better situation to arise. And there's just so many people that I talk to who maybe listed their house aggressively with somebody else this year, and then the house didn't get sold, and now they're wanting to come on with us in the spring. Or there's just people that are they're tired of waiting. And so I'm cautiously optimistic that you're going to see more inventory, at least in the Sacramento market, more inventory earlier on in the year. So if you're a seller thinking about selling, you have to realize, at least in our market, that the market tends to peak in June, which means the houses were in contract in May, which means they were listed in April. That's typical. You're probably going to see that shift forward a little bit as people come to the market sometime, probably around Super Bowl time, after that second week of February. So if you're a seller, you're thinking about getting your house on the market, I would get your house on the market sooner rather than later. And then if you're a buyer, I would make sure that you have begun the process, because a lot of people think it's just a quick, easy, hey, I'm just going to go out in one weekend and find a house. Sometimes it's taking 30, 45 days to find a house. So make sure that you've begun that process early on, so you can get the good deal and not feel rushed when all of a sudden all the other buyers are coming in the market. But I like what you're saying, though, Frank, about it being cautiously optimistic.
I do think, for those of you who are in real estate or looking to purchase real estate or sell real estate, that there is a window that, with these mortgage rates dropping,
Yeah.
that usually pushes home prices up. So when you see rates going down, you have a unique window for affordability of, you can get a lower rate and you get in before everyone else rushes in and pushes prices up further. And since these just recently dropped, I think maybe I would probably say they were pretty high in late summer, and now they're coming down here in the fall. You have a unique window of opportunity to probably squeeze out what affordability you can get now. So if you want to buy a home, this is not a plug, but talk to Johnny now.
You bring up a good point. It's a sweet spot, because there's less buyers in the market. Sellers a little bit more motivated. Affordability is there.
Before the frenzy of, the crowd effect hits in spring. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point. So as far as we recently did a webinar together. Thank you so much for putting that on. Had some great conversations with some people based off the webinar. And the webinar was geared towards agents, kind of like peeling back the curtain a little bit and kind of telling agents how we operate and how we help people buy and sell houses. How did you come up with that idea? Because Vyral put it on entirely, like I just showed up. How did you guys come up with that?
Oh, for the webinar?
Yeah.
Oh, to do a webinar. Oh my goodness. Well, that's well, man, how do I answer that question? I know that the ultimate goal of business is to create a happy customer or a happy client. And when you look at marketing, the best marketing you could do is have that happy client or customer share their story. And when you're packaging a story, instead of just making it a sales piece or a testimonial, you take it up even further and you turn it into an educational, event. So our strategy at Vyral to get new clients is help our clients tell their story of success and how they're helping more people and getting the message out with us. And we go to our customers, went to you and said, hey, would you like to do a webinar about, how things are working for you in your business? In many respects, it's like if you were a farmer, hey, Johnny, you're farming. You have a great yield on your crop. Would you like to do a webinar and help other farmers about what you're doing to be successful? And maybe there's some way that as more farmers are interested in what you're doing, there's some type of compensation arrangement so you benefit from sharing the story. In many ways, you can do that. So I think the webinar concept of appointment viewing, here's a time, you have to register, come learn from one of your peers what's working for them. has worked for us for 15 years. It has been the number one way that we've grown our firm to generate new clients for our firm is doing webinars with our customers. And I think anyone listening to this that has a business, even more specifically, has a professional services business. If I had to give you the number one way of generating new clients beyond just maybe working your existing contacts and relationships for referrals, it's putting your customers on the pedestal and doing a story about them that hopefully is somehow marketed in some way to the peers they know.
Got it. Well, I thought it was a brilliant idea because I'm like, what the heck? Frank's helping me out for free. He's running these ads for free. Like
Yeah,
it got me in front
it
of,
benefited both of us.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely did. Um, and that's, I think people are, Compass is trying to do their whole off-market listing thing, or they're coming soon, and Zillow's fighting back saying, no, you can't do that. It all has to be on the market. And not everybody, many people are concerned with Zillow and how now is it your customer or is it Zillow's customer on the portal? And I have to claim that and as the agent. But what's great about what you're doing, like connecting with me and empowering me to connect with the people that we have, like our current and past clients, is it helps create that moat. Like Zillow can't do that. And so
no,
when every single month they're getting three, not only me, but we have over 20 agents on our team, it's coming from the agents as well. And so our database is getting hit three different times every single month with something of value. I think it's very rarely is there like an ask, but it's normally like providing that information that maybe they're rattling around. Maybe it's something they talk about with their friends, at a sporting event, but they really don't want to talk to the realtor because they're afraid they're going to get sold, but they want the
yes,
real info.
yeah,
So I just think if people are looking to hedge against Zillow or to leverage Zillow, yeah, let's say you're a flex team and you're getting all these leads. Well, what are you going to do after the 2 years expires, right? A lot of them are buyer leads. They're going to have to sell at some point. What are you doing to make sure you capture that and you're not just focused on the right now business? How can you compound that growth you've essentially been handed by Zillow and leverage it into more business for you and your agents? And we use Vyral among other tools, but Vyral is something that we've used for years. Do you have other agents doing something similar things, Frank, as
oh
far
my
as
goodness
following?
gracious, yes. I think, for any agent listening to this, any business owner, maybe even specifically in professional services, you always want to get more customers and have a system to generate more appointments and meetings with new clients.
Yeah.
And, if you're relying on someone else to provide that to you, they're in toll position. They're in control of your business. They hand you
Hmm.
the client. They could take a big cut. They can turn it off. They can, you're not really free in your business unless you have a system to consistently attract and retain customers, ideally through others. So when you realize you need that, one of the first things you do is you kind of round up all your existing clients and maybe people you've worked with in the past and maybe, interested prospects from over time, and you put some type of long-term education-based um, uh, nurture plan in place. We recommend 3 messages a month at Vyral, 2 educational videos that you're doing, and then one lead generation message that tries to give them a reason to respond if they're interested in solving their problem or pain point now. So
Hmm.
you put that in place for your existing list. All right. And then essentially, how do you build your list, which you alluded to a little bit earlier with the webinars, is what I recommend is go to your top customers and interview them and get them to share that interview with all of their peers.
Oh, I like that. Matt, you had a
That,
question?
Yeah. So, Frank, when is it too much and when is it not enough? When have you reached the point where, okay, you're risking people
yeah,
unsubscribing or opting out? And when do you realize I'm not doing enough because I'm not getting enough response?
yeah, that's going to be like a frequency question. How often do you reach out to people? Um, to the point where it's very uncomfortable for you. So I want you to go to the point where it's like, man, I'm just right. This is getting uncomfortable with the frequency. And then you're probably right at about that rate. We find that the right general long-term nurture for professional services list is about 3 impressions a month, 3 impressions a month is about the right point of diminishing marginal returns on effort to send stuff out. Could you get away with the fourth one? Sure, fifth one, but you start getting diminishing marginal returns 3 times a month. That's my answer.
So you risk losing your customer base or your audience if you do it more than that?
Unless they've specifically subscribed to for higher frequency, or it's a paying list, like a paying subscriber list, 3 is enough. That's the optimal time where you start. Beyond that, you might become a little annoying to the audience that hasn't necessarily explicitly signed up for the stuff that you're sending them.
There's this superhuman AI newsletter that I'm subscribed to, and I find the information fascinating. They're talking about incredible breakthroughs, like nationally, internationally, in tech, in science, in health, and I find it fascinating. But I think they send it out daily, and I find that to be, and I want the information.
Yeah. I have daily newsletters I pay for on Substack, but I signed up for it. I explicitly wanted it. I look forward to the daily message. It's like reading the news every day.
It is. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I tend to, the only time I really digest the newsletter is their Saturday version, because I just have more time on Saturdays, So
by the way, that's what we find is if you have more of a professional audience, especially, Saturday morning is the best time to send an email.
Saturday morning. Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. It's true.
Hey, Frank, with the younger generation, the next generation, it seems like from my experience that they're engaging with email less and less. Are you finding that the case, that it's harder to reach people via email because they're just not, people don't, aren't on the computer as much as they used to be. They're on their cell phone, which can do everything. So do you find that, talking about diminishing returns, do you see that email is going to start losing traction, or do you think it's still here for a really long time?
Well, let me give you the right answer to that. So when you have a piece of content, and I'll use like an old term here, but you want to use multimedia to deliver it. So media, in a definition of the word, is just what's the distribution channel to get the message to the intended recipient. Think of media as radio, that's a media, or a letter, that's a media, a seminar, that's a media, email is a media, Facebook is a media. So what I recommend is always use multimedia, because you don't know really how the customer likes to be communicated with. For me personally, I like being communicated in the mail.
Really? Like snail mail?
Snail mail, man. I like getting my mail and sending it aside.
You do talk about mail a lot.
I really do, because my brain is just assaulted constantly by digital communication.
Yeah.
And there's something about, I personally like when I like to grab the actual newspaper and read it. I like grabbing a physical book. If I get the mail, I really prefer that. Now I'm probably a rarity, but that's me, right? So when you're talking about, when you create a piece of content, let's say a video, answering a commonly asked question, how would you get it out? Well, let's go put it on YouTube, so it shows up on someone's feed if they subscribed. Let's go put it on your blog, on your website. Maybe someone has subscribed there. Let's email it out to your contact list. Maybe somebody likes email. Sure, that's great. Let's go post it on your business page on Facebook. Let's go post it on your Instagram and your maybe even your LinkedIn, right? And then even further, let's maybe put it on a postcard or mail it out. Oh, here's my latest video to come watch. So you just kind of hit all the little market segments of attention to make sure people see it. And it also goes with copywriting too. You could ask the same question. Do I need to write short copy, long copy? Are people paying attention? Is this too long? Is this too short? Well, the answer is, write for everyone. So you write something very long that's complete for let's say your analyticals, or the people who are very interested. But then you always provide a secondary reading path in the cosmetics of the writing, such as headlines or bolding. So somebody who wants to scan it, that's more of a high driver and a short attention span, let's say.
I'm a scanner.
There you go. You can read the headlines, you can read the bullet points, you can read the bold, for that secondary reading path downhill the writing. So you hit everyone. And then even further, and you'll see this like on the New York Times or on the news, is have a play button. So if somebody doesn't want to read, maybe they don't read very well, the reading comprehension isn't there, or they're in the car, they can press play and they can listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you might want someone to read it to you. And that's why a lot of YouTube channels exist where it's just someone sitting there reading you the article, basically, on YouTube. So my answer to that question is a in-depth question, or in-depth answer is I always want you to use multimedia to promote your content. It's not one specific media that's better than the other.
Sure, but is there one that's a little bit more cost effective than the other? Like if you're looking at direct mail and the expense per lead for that type of distribution, or email or texting or social media,
Yep.
What do you think is the most cost effective way? Let's say you're on a limited budget and you can't afford to do a lot. What do you think is the most cost effective way to distribute your content?
I think email for sure. Email is going to be the best way because it can't be taken from you. Facebook can be taken from you. Social media can be taken from you. Email's fast. It's relatively cheap. And you could send out an email message to your database letting people know about your piece of content. And then even better, if you needed to generate more leads beyond your existing database, is you would find someone that has an email list of your intended customers. And you would get them to send out an email about you to their list. I call that, in many respects, viral marketing. Is once you're sending emails to your current list and you max that out, how could you go build relationships with other people that have the same audience that you want? And how can you get them to send out an email with you or about you to drive response back to you?
You bring up a good point though about the whole something being taken from you. Like
What do you mean by that? Can you clarify that?
I know so many people who have.
Well, let's think of it this way. Okay, so let's take direct mail. So let's say I have a message and I want to use it on a Facebook ad. And I write the message, I put on Facebook. Facebook's going to say, well, you can't run it. It doesn't meet our criteria, doesn't meet our standards. Declined. Then Facebook is going to give your money and they'll tell you your clicks and your views, but they're not going to tell you who saw it. You really have no idea who's actually saying your stuff on social media. Like specifically, like give me their name, give me their address, tell me who saw this. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right? If I do a letter, is the post office going to open the letter and look at it and say, no, I'm not going to mail it? No, no one's in toll position to see if they're going to run to deliver the message or not. And then even further, I know exactly who's going to get it when I send a letter or something in the mail. And no one's going to step in and probably take mail from you. It's extremely unlikely. They're not going to Facebook can shut down your page. They can lock you out of your account. They can disable you from advertising. They can really change the pricing a lot. You don't have a lot of control, but with direct mail, you don't have any of those risks. Kind of there was a joke going around in the marketing space that the administration is going to start taxing email.
What?
Are you serious?
There was a joke. I don't think it's actually
okay.
No,
They'd make some money.
They would tax email because
emails.
Well, think about how much business email's taking from the post office.
Right.
And the post office is losing money, so we can go tax email to subsidize the post office.
Oh my gosh. If they did,
I'd
probably send out 1 million emails.
We're gonna tariff the emails.
Tariff the emails.
Tariff the emails.
But you bring up a good point too about
we all get too many emails,
Yeah. There's some pros and cons there, but the cool thing is, so if you send the mail, you don't know, did they open it? Did somebody throw it in the trash? But it's an interesting distinguishing feature of email is what percentage of it was delivered.
Who got it. Yep. If it was delivered and who's on the list. It. And people usually take their email addresses with them no matter what platform they're on. It hangs around with you a long time. Right. If you want to know the best email address, so let's say you got a prospect, right? And you got a couple of emails here or there that you scraped off online. You're trying to get them the right message, or maybe you get a couple phone numbers you find around. You're trying to figure out, okay, how do I deliver this message to this person? I'm going to give you guys an incredible tip.
All right,
Um,
let's hear it.
all right, so just take the email address and type it into your iMessages, or take the phone number and type it in your iMessages, and it turns blue. Gold. You found them.
You found
That's the
them.
right one. Yeah. So we have list builders that when we're trying to figure out how to get a message out, they're just sitting there with an iPhone, typing the cell phone number in, typing the email in, and if it turns blue, they put a check mark next to it.
Really?
And I know that list is legit. And I
That's
know, and
wild.
I know they're going to get the message.
I don't know the history behind the blue dialogue box, but I am so
Oh,
glad they did.
that's a whole thing, man. That's an Apple little competitive advantage.
So what
You know,
were you
you're,
saying, Johnny, earlier about the story you had about controlling your content?
Oh yeah, the controlling the content. So I have multiple friends who have lost their Facebook accounts. You contact Facebook that they don't say anything.
oh, we've had YouTube channels taken down. You don't own it, you know?
Yeah. With the one way we got one person's Facebook account back was somebody who's working for Facebook.
Mm.
And they're like, "Hey, don't tell them I'm doing this, but I'll turn your account back on."
Wow.
And so it's as simple as that, but you have to have the contact in order to
Sure.
get it done. But nobody's gonna take your email list away from you. You might kill the email list by operating unethically or overspending things. But when you send an email, and I'm looking at these emails we've sent on the Vyral Marketing dashboard, and you can actually see who clicked, like how many times different people clicked where. Like it not only tells you who got it, when it was delivered, if it was opened, where did they click. Like there's so much
Right.
data there.
Yeah, it's very nice. Now, I will tell for the audience here that as the months and years go on, you will have to hedge some of that information of what percentage that is AI opening it or AI clicking it. It's becoming
Oh,
increasingly hard to tell. All right.
interesting.
A little tip when you get your open and clicks, take a look at the timestamps. All the ones that happen like the second the email will go out,
Right,
the same
right.
time, or even the open and click was before the email was even sent. Those are the ones that probably the machine opens and clicks.
Oh,
Little tip, a
all right. I
little
didn't
small
even look for that.
pro nuance when you're deep in the game.
Yeah, we're finding more and more of that as well. Like we'll do some contesting with our radio stations online, and we're finding a lot more AI generated entries than ever before. Where
You
usually
know,
we could figure out a way to block those
yeah,
and prevent that from happening. But even with, you know, how sometimes you'll enter a contest or enter a form and they'll say, well, what is this?
The
They'll have,
captcha, whatever.
yeah, they'll have some kind of barrier that you have to get through. But with AI now, they're able to get through that now. It's crazy.
I will have to tell you, when it comes to vanity metrics on social media, views, impressions, likes, shares, uh, yeah, I have questions of how real that is.
Yeah.
Let me give you a story. We ran a Facebook ad for a client, very simple Facebook ad. Hey, watch this webinar replay on this like specific thing. Click here. I think we put $1,000 into it, and I think about 1,200 people clicked the ad to like just watch the video. That's all the client wanted was like, watch the video. Hopefully they call me. But after you spend the $1,200, you're like, well, we got a bunch of views and a bunch of clicks. Then reality sets in. It's like, oh man, like they any clients from this? Like, what did I get from this? I spent 1,200
Yeah.
bucks, or I spent $1,000. People watched it. It sounded cool in the beginning, but now that I actually spent it, it's kind of lost its appeal, and I'm actually kind of like resentful I did it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, look, let's do it again. I think it performed pretty well. This is a really good, there's action here. Let's just run
Mhm.
it more. But what we'll do is we'll run it through a landing page. What we'll do is that once they click the ad, that in order to actually, watch the replay, they got to put their email address in. So at least maybe you get an email address. And again, very simple, very clear message to market match. There's no reason why someone wouldn't enter their email to watch the replay. So
Mhm.
I ran it again for $1,000, and I hand to God, guess how many people opted in for the webinar? It was zero. We still got all the clicks again, about the same number of clicks. But how in the world do you get that many clicks or landing page views without a single person putting a darn email in to watch the thing they just clicked for to get? And I called Facebook. I'm like, you got to explain this to me. This just does not make sense. Is this stuff real? And it wasn't really a good answer,
Oh
you know?
no.
So I just say that where it's like, if you're going to go online and spend money and resources, and you're trying to figure out like, is anyone paying attention? Is this working? I think ultimately it comes down to, people putting their information into a form of some type. And even a step up from that, maybe they fill out a CAPTCHA, or even on Facebook now, you can, on a lead form, it'll ask you when someone submits their information on a lead form, do you want them to confirm their phone number by text? Like, oh, okay, that's a really good name.
Yeah,
You
that
can actually
is.
choose, yes, right? It's like a double opt-in text confirmation. So anyone listening, if you're not maybe getting the results you want with social media, you might have what we call the vanity metrics to make you feel good, but it's not producing appointments and new clients and new business. See if you could reorient your um, metric to opt-ins, registrations, leads of that sort.
So when I was rolling around the oil fields, Frank, watching you on my laptop, and trying to learn this whole real estate game, as I was transitioning out of the oil fields into real estate, a lot of your stuff was heavy, real estate. You were interviewing and speaking with real estate agents, coaches, things like that. But now it seems like you're expanding beyond just the real estate agent. So if somebody
Yeah.
is looking to use, or they're looking for a solution that you provide, like what industries can you help them with?
Well, right now, um, typically it's more high customer lifetime value professional services. So real estate, that's the case.
Hmm.
You could expand that easily to mortgage,
Yep.
right? You could expand that to property management because you have a high customer lifetime value with the monthly property management fees. Financial advisors, specifically, there's a very specific nuance. It's a registered investment advisor. I believe, I'm not an expert on this, with a non-broker dealer relationship, but where you could publish content without too much heavy-handed compliance that you're
Oh,
sending
okay.
out. Mhm.
Yeah.
The financial advisors.
Not like a New York
Commercial.
Life, but it's like somebody that's like
Yeah, it's
independent.
usually someone, again, there's a lot of nuance here, but it's someone who set up their own shop, who's an RIA, that is just kind of out there doing their own thing, and maybe they have paid for their own third party compliance.
Hmm.
I know that works. Um, you know, high ticket, high customer lifetime value professional services where the consumer needs a lot of certainty and is looking for the best professional to guide them emotionally and logically through the process to make them feel safe and to make them feel certain through a something they are not entirely educated on or know well. And I will tell you, in my own experience, I just recently dealt with this. I purchased some solar for my home. That's a very complicated sale, very expensive sale, and lots of different answers from lots of different people.
Hmm.
And I was trying to figure out like who do I want to use to really guide me. So I went on YouTube, and trust me, there's no lack of solar consultants on
Nope.
YouTube. Okay. I'm kind of clicking through the guys here. I live in Phoenix. So I was clicking through like who the solar consultants were. And it was just this older gentleman that kind of had this, an old webcam that just kind of sat down and just talked to me as a friend and just kind of explained how the power grid works and how the different time of billing usage is and what a watt was. I didn't really know what a watt was or a kilowatt hour. And he really explained it all to me. And that was the person I decided to go with because why? He really made me feel safe in the transaction that it was going to truly guide me and was not going to take advantage of me and can really help me understand all of my options. And he earned that through his videos versus someone that's going to be published in like a slick TikTok,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best place for them to get a hold of you?
Viral marketing. Go to Google and just type in VYRAL. So it's viral with a Y. Viral marketing. Google that and go check out our website. And if you have an interest in publishing education-based question and answer videos that position you as the expert and the trusted advisor to help inform and educate and protect and to provide certainty for someone who has the problem you solve, we can help you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Any last words before we let you go?
There's a huge jump when you're in business, when you're working one-to-one. Your communication is one-to-one, one-to-one calls, one-to-one emails,
Yep.
one-to-one prospecting. And if you can make the jump from being a salesperson and operate at a higher level of becoming a better teacher or instructor, and you start going from one-to-one communication to one-to-many communication through video, through webinars, through radio, and through that communication, you come across as a teacher as opposed to a salesperson.
Right.
That's when you make the next jump in customer acquisition ease.
Ooh, that's a strong tip.
No, it's true, because I think customers want some kind of value or benefit. They don't want to see that you're looking for something from them. They want to see, what are you offering to me? And one easy way, especially if you've been in the industry for a while, is to provide some information, to educate them. And they appreciate that. And they'll respond by trusting you and doing business, hopefully, with you, right?
I like that. But you think of like the Patrick Bet-Davids, the Grant Cardones, the Gary Vaynerchuk's, like these people who were selling on one level. A lot of their businesses exploded after they started providing that more informational content. So it's pretty interesting. I gotta be like Grant Cardone, be like Frank Klesitz. So
yeah, going from one-to-one to one-to-many communication.
Love it. All right, my friend. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on. We look forward to having you back again soon.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right, so we're in the middle of the holidays, a lot going on. Thanksgiving wrapping up. We've got Christmas, we've got New Year's, and a lot of folks go into hibernation when it comes to selling their home. They think, okay, we'll just wait until the spring. But right now is actually a perfect time to put your home on the market because there's not a lot of inventory out there. So what you do is you Google Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty, and he's going to put his entire team into action, helping you sell your home for the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time. You can trust him. He's got a lot of integrity. He and his team are going to walk you through every step of the process. So there's no worry, there's no anxiety, there's no fear. But you know what? Maybe you're in a situation where you don't want to go through all the hassle of open houses, showings, staging, and you've got a lot of repairs that need to be done, but you don't have the time or the money. Johnny Jennings will get you at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. It's not too good to be true. He's done it multiple times. So again, it's super fast and easy. 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. What do? Google Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty and get more for your home.